Welcome to the EPROM 9. Forgive me if I'm a bit brain farty right now, but I've got a migraine. It's finally milded off enough that I can do stuff that requires more brain activity. So my brain's currently running about 60% capacity, so that's good enough. So we're going to do a nice little teardown. And yes, look at this. We got light, we got nice lighting. It's not flickery at all, which is good because it's just a standard fluorescent light. Same type that's in my parents' kitchen because I was walking the dog a long time ago, Todd. And someone was having their kitchen renovated and one of the under-cupboard lights was out, and yeah, I picked it up and took it with me. So, we are going to do a teardown of this little interesting thing. Can we do zoom? Oh yeah, we can do zoom big close style, good. Evil digital zoom, that goes against all my photography shenanigans, but I think it's practical for this. So this was sent to me by Edwin Burton like over 5 years ago, so thank you for sending this in the box of goodies you've sent in over 5 years ago. Sorry it took this long. I'm just not the most, well, my time management sucks ass. I am not an organised individual. They also arrived at a period when the parents were freaking out, so I just kind of had to stash everything away because I was dealing with the, the typical parents freaking out that, you're getting loads of so-called junk, even though it's useful junk, but nevertheless the parents never seem to see it that way until that one little Wi-Fi adapter that you pull out a laptop that you've had in your garage for 10 years comes in handy and fixes their laptop. Then the junk pile is magically awesome, but every other time they just want it out the house. Anyway, since I've got my own house, that isn't a problem anymore. I can acquire as much shit as I choose, which is fantastic. But this little thing is basically from a Fifex. I do not have a clue how the hell you pronounce that. Website www.fifex.co.uk, and it is a model FX-EP-7-141, and it's a little RGB light, and it's quite a nice little thing. The instructions that came with it were a bit wanky from what I remember, but they've since been lost to the sands of time. They could be in a pile of paperwork somewhere. They could have found their way into the bin. I honestly don't know where they went. But it's quite a nice little mood light. I ought to set it up in my house somewhere as a little mood light. Runs on 5 volts. In fact, the company that does this does a lot of this kind of stuff. I just googled them, and they basically do like lighting and display stuff for like museums. So all the exhibits you get in a museum, they basically design and build those, all the interactive displays and that. It's quite interesting actually. I should do some more looking into it. And this is obviously going to be like, one of their products that comes through it. This is custom designed in-house. It even is made in the UK, which is fantastic because so little is made in the UK these days. It's sad, and it's nice to see something that's made in the UK. So hey look, you can see a rancid almost, it's not a wank rag, but basically the same thing. Power supply is a standard off-the-shelf 5 volt 1 amp power supply. It's made by K-Tech, never heard of them. Standard centre positive, just a barrel jack, so probably a little before the time of USB, before everything was USB power, so could be an interesting mod to this thing in the future. As you can see, I've opened this up before because this is actually quite interesting inside. Before we crack it open, I will show you it running because it's quite interesting actually. You'll be surprised at the complexity of the electronics when you see exactly what this does. So you plug it in, it briefly flashes. There's your first hint at what's going on. And then basically all these LEDs are individually adjustable via these side variable resistor slide pots. And they look quite nice and make some nice patterns. But that's literally all they do. And then of course there's this slot that you could probably fit gels and other like optics in front to project patterns and whatever else you so choose. And they're ultra bright LEDs, so yeah, reasonably modern thing. Or at least probably was when I got it. Don't know about now, but we're not going to bother opening this up because, well, this is not the subject of switch mode power supplies. God, my nose is itchy. So we'll grab one of my many screwdrivers. This one I had to turn into a flathead with the Dremel because the Allen key thing wore out. Now we have to find the correct Allen key. Nope. 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 Oh, seriously? Okay. Okay, the Allen keys are failing me. How terrible of them. Luckily, I possess about a bazillion screwdriver sets, so like a set of Allen keys failing me isn't really that much of a problem. This will go back together because I'm probably going to end up setting this up somewhere in my house. It's just a shame it doesn't do other patterns, really. Like there isn't some adjustable mode to it or anything, which is a shame, really. It would benefit from that. Standard screws, all that good jazz. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, hopefully this is an improved workbench view because my mum helped me enormously with putting shelves up. And oh my god, these shelves were an absolute mongrel to get up. Thankfully, as typical, mothers to the rescue. You know, the folks in the Caribbean are right. The most important woman in your life is always your mother. Don't ever forget that. You'll go through 1,000,001 girlfriends in life, but you only get one mum. So, we open it up and we can see instantly there's more to this than meets the eye. I don't know how easy it is to see, but we could zoom in a bit. The only thing is we don't have the best resolution with zooming in, so we will liberate the circuit board from the case. I'm hoping you can see what's going on. Oh, there we go. You know what, we're not going to worry too much about this board, but Creative Colour Mixer, Pop Pro, and then its course copyright 2007. So it's not super duper crazy modding. But yeah, as you can see, the trim pots are commoned together. And then they go out into a 5-pin thing, and then of course you've got power going in there. So yeah, it makes sense, they're common together. And then they go into this little board, we've got a programming header here. Yes, this thing uses a microprocessor. Let's grab you some knowledge. Now this is the good thing about having random LED torches everywhere. But oh, I'm such a clumsy oaf. My excuse, my brain's running at like 60% capacity. Was that supposed to spark like that? That actually sparked when I hit it, for God's sake. There we go. So, I'm hoping the phone will contact me. You've got compact colour mixer, LED PCB version 3 LED, and the little microprocessor. You've got some markings on the board there, connection, little 5-pin header, and the chip is a Atmel. So thumbs up to using an Atmel because Atmel and PIC are awesome. It is a Atmel what is it? I think they call it AT Tiny, but this is just Tiny 13. And yeah, this is basically how they're doing it. The chip's basically receiving the basically what is a variable input into a analog to digital converter that'll exist within the chip, and then it's basically outputting straight to the LEDs. Now the only thing is, I'm not sure if it's but it does look like it's using, yeah, it's definitely using these 3 transistors to drive the current of the LEDs up here. They don't look to be multiplexed, obviously, but this thing's definitely going to use some multiplexing with the fact that you got 3 LEDs, you got 3 inputs. That's like all your pins gone there, plus you got the programming headers. But some of the programming headers do actually connect straight into these header pins. So yeah, quite an interesting little board actually, using an AT Tiny 13 to basically make an LED dimmer. But I suppose the advantages to that, if we put our wonderful sparking LED light back up there, with its horrible battery connector that's absolute, well, how do you guys put it? Complete and utter garbage. Because I'm curious, did they use that to remove like excessive flicker on the PWM? But yeah, it's surprisingly complicated for what is just a trim pot circuit. But yeah, you still get the flicker when you shake it. I don't know how visible it is to the camera. Oh yeah, it should be reasonable. It's less visible when it goes up, but if you knock it right down, you do get some flicker from the fluorescent light. But yeah, you can see flicker there. So it doesn't really flicker, but yeah, I just find that a really interesting circuit for what is essentially a dimmable LED RGB thing that's like for, you know, displays and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a teardown. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoy this more advanced setup for the workbench video rather than it being through a webcam which has dubious audio and video quality. And then we'll continue using the other camera for when I do like detailed teardowns at the other bench. Or maybe this one will take over completely just because convenience. I can upload straight from it, I can pause the video and don't have to do any editing. So that's it. That's always a plus on my side. So yeah, let me know what you think. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, thanks to Edwin Burton for sending this to me years and years and years ago. And also thanks to my mum to setting up the shelving, helping me set up the shelving. I would have struggled to do it without her. She helped me resolve a lot of issues.